Thanks for staying with us. We'll start with the paper review. We'll start with The Nation. Discos await NERC's nod to increase electricity tariffs. Floating of Naira in order, says Idika Kalu. Ribadu CDS IG will secure Nigeria. Work halted on Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. 7 pilgrims died of psychological challenges, says NAHCON. Ex-aid, why Buhari didn't remove subsidy float Naira. Ibadan skit maker remanded in prison. An automatic job for LASU best graduate. Okay, which story are we starting with in The Nation?
The major headline. So there's been confusion because we had received news earlier by the DISCOs that they plan to hike the electricity tariff from July 1st. And it's been conflicting because yesterday, again, they said they had not gotten the approval from NEC, that's the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, to hike the tariff. And, they had to backtrack on their former statement. So an economics and chief executive officer, Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise, Dr. Muda Yusuf, said that the proposed increments in the tariff smacked of insensitivity. And, he was also saying the same thing with the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. And he says that initially, they cannot say because they are not able to get Forex. That's why they are, trying to increase the tariff, though their cost has increased. But over 80% of their pricing had been in line with the parallel market, not because they don't have access to Forex. It's just about 20% of, businessmen who really have access to this Forex. And so that is not an excuse for increasing this. And he said, it's often a dilemma when the private sector is playing a dominant role in the delivery of a service, which is social in nature or quasi-social. So they are supposed to make sure that there's a bit of stability in the economy before they start, inflating their prices. Nigerians have not even finished grasping the removal of the fuel subsidy, and then you want to add electricity tariff increments to their wahala, that this is not the right time for it.
Okay, let me take the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. So ahead of the Salah, the Eid al-Kabir celebrations, which is starting this week, Wednesday, Friday, the federal government had decided to stop and halt all the work on the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. According to the Federal Controller of Works in Lagos, Olukorede Kesha, said that from today up until Sunday, they will halt work and then resume on Monday. Due to the heavy traffic flow being experienced in the Lagos-Ibadan roads in the last couple of days, it was really important for them to stop roads so that people who are traveling can have free flow of traffic to their various destinations. So that's
but the last time that they closed it, they moved those things that are blocking the road. Are they going to move those things? Because if they just halt the work and they keep those things there,
it is still obstruct.
There will still be traffic.
Yes.
So are they the ones doing it to take holiday, or are they doing it to ease traffic?
Hopefully.
That's the question we should ask them. But I wanted to take the story of Nigeria, why Nigeria lost 7 pilgrims.
Psychological challenges.
To Saudi Arabia, yeah. 7 of them died, and the commission has said it was because of psychological effects of flight, crowd, and the new environment. And many of them...
Overwhelmed or what?
Yes.
That's what
NAHCON.
Say a lot of them are still came from rural areas. They've never entered the plane before. They've never traveled to a new environment.
So the whole thing just made them die.
Wow.
And then
What were the symptoms of?
We don't know, sister.
is what we read.
Reports.
And the pregnant people too.
There were 6 pregnant women on the pilgrimage, and they said that the states that because you're supposed to have a pregnancy test before you go, because the rigors of the Hajj are
not for pregnant women,
for pregnant women. So they're supposed to have pregnancy tests to make sure that they don't go. So they're going to sanction the states
that allow pregnant people.
Yeah.
Yes, I have, Aminat Yusuf was still celebrating the best graduating student from LASU, and Edo State government has offered her automatic employment. As we know, she's from Edo State, even though I think she lives here and went to school here. The government said that the governor, beyond congratulating Ms. Yusuf, who hails from Edo, has been offered automatic employment. The governor also said that the state government reached out to her parents, spoke to them about the offer, and the parents accepted the offer. Did Amina Yusuf accept it? They are also saying that for them this is showing that they're committed to improving the quality of human resources in public service. We have prioritized this and will get the best work in the state. We have done everything within our power as a government to ensure that we create an enabling environment for work, and as a result, we also want the best hands. So, I mean, this is very, it's good. It would help motivate other children coming up to know that there is a value.
Muslim
yes, it's just like
Nima's community.
Like Nima's
Isako.
twin.
Wow.
She's like Nima's twin,
yeah.
but just a different name.
Oh, was that why she was so jubilating in the group that day? I was wondering.
Just everything. So
The-
yes, congratulations to Amina and
Maybe
all
they're
the
very brilliant
successes.
from that area.
It's possible.
The Punch.
The Edo spirits.
Senate Minority Leader. PDP article set to clash with G5 over Tamboa. Picture here of custom siege, decorated promises technology-driven operations. 7 passengers Okada rider die in Oyo crash. Salah, FG declares holidays. Osun cancels free train ride. Tinubu returns today. May present ministerial list after Salah. Buhari hands over 974 billion naira on completed road projects. Disco's backtrack on tariff hike, await NERC approval. And World Bank okays fresh $500 million loan for federal government. Okay, which story are we starting in Punch?
The Vice President on Monday decorated the Acting Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service. His name is Adewale Adeni. While expressing hope that, so the Vice President is happy. He says that Adeni's decoration, his appointment is a morale booster for officers in the service, congratulating him for bringing professionalism back to the Nigerian customs. And also, he says that his appointment will help other officers aspire to occupy the pinnacle of their profession. So apparently, he is a serving, customs officer. And so it just shows like the natural progression when you get to the top of your level and then you get the very top job. Unlike other cases where you bring in, someone outside the service. So they feel that this would really help, boost the morale of all those who are working there. And I think that's very important to do so, because I feel that if you're not part of the service, really, there's some things you may do a good job, but you have that teething period of trying to, acclimatize. He has also said, the new controller acting has said that that the last 8 years they've seen some progress. He talked about things like the e-customs, but that there's still a lot more that he can do in the customs service. They're going to try and bring in more innovation to drive customs operation. So we wish him all the best, and for him and for our country.
Well, are they acting because they haven't been confirmed by the Senate? Is that why they call them the acting?
Honestly.
Yes, you need confirmation for you to take up.
So the president, Bola Tinubu, if you recall, he was in France for a new global financing act, which he had signed in France. And then he said he had gone on for a private visit in the UK. His aides have said that he's expected in Nigeria back today to spend in time for the Salah celebrations. Although he should be going back to Abuja by Friday, but the people, according to his aides, he should be returning back to Abuja maybe by Sunday to resume work on Monday. According to his aides also, they're saying that there's a very strong possibility that he'll be in the next few days announce the ministerial list, which has been keeping closely to his heart. Nobody really knows to his chest, said that he kept a core of his ministers to himself, heavily influenced by his kitchen cabinets, the special advisors, but they're really expectant that in the coming few days, we'll be getting the list of ministerial appointments to be submitted to the National Assembly for their approval.
Can we guess? Can we do like a guessing game?
Yeah, we could do, yeah.
So let's talk about the 7 passengers that died in a crash in Oyo State, in Bumosho, the Oyo State, it was a commercial bus and a truck driver. The commercial bus was trying to overtake the truck, lost control on a narrow road, hit the truck, and
Somersaulted
5 times. And how many of them died? Some of them, okay, you have to go. There were 21 passengers in the bus, and 7 of them died.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing papers. The Punch, yeah.
So the federal government has declared Wednesday, June 28 and Thursday, June 29 as Eid al-Kabir holidays. And it was announced in a statement yesterday by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Oluwatoyin Akinlade. And, he had urged Nigerians to make sacrifices for the development of the country as done by Prophet Ibrahim. And he said, in the spirit of special occasion during which we commemorate the great virtues of obedience, sacrifice, and faith as exemplified by Prophet Ibrahim, peace of Allah be unto him, Muslims and indeed all Nigerians are to enjoin to make sacrifices for the growth and development of our communities and our great country, Nigeria. And then they went ahead to say that the Osun State government has said that the free service train for holiday makers, which they normally do once in every year, has been cancelled because they had a train accident around the Abeokuta-Lagos Old Gorge line, and that caused the blockage. So there's work ongoing there now. Some parts of the track is not, trains cannot, take that area of the track, and so they are not able to have the free train ride for the people for that time. Then once they are done with the work, they can continue.
Okay,
tracks.
Cool. Daily Sun. Buhari's ex-aide reveals fuel subsidy secret. NIA ex-DG fight back. Open can of worms. Tinubu will secure every inch of Nigeria, says Ribadu. Enugu targets $2 billion in diaspora and investment forum. Check-up in NAF. Appoints new branch chiefs, AOCs, spokesmen, and others. Abia. Otis sets up panel for recovery of government funds. Government suspends Lagos-Ibadan expressway construction. FG warns security agencies against use of torture, cruel treatment of detainees.
I have Nuhu Ribadu. That's our newly appointed National Security Advisor, and he has assured that the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu will secure every inch of Nigeria. I'll take that again. He assures us that this administration will secure every inch of Nigeria. And he gave this assurance yesterday during the handing over, the taking over ceremony. He said that the administration has an enormous responsibility of securing Nigeria, stabilizing it, and ensuring peace in all parts of the country. He also says that to do this, of course, we have to do this work together. He says work has been done before. They will consolidate on what has been done because security is a continuous project, and so they would have to do work with them, with what has been done before and with all of us to secure our country. The former NSA, that's Major General Monguno, congratulated him, and he said that that Ribadu is well-equipped, well-qualified, well-educated, and has very deep understanding of the complexity of the security challenges bedeviling this nation. And he also said that he's happy to, the way he's retiring, he says he's giving Nuhu Ribadu a proper brief of what he's done, and he's also happy to be retiring, without any issues and also in good health. And he wishes Nuhu Ribadu a successful tenure, working as, and also wishes that at the end of his tenure, he too would retire in good health.
Right. Okay, so the federal government has warned security and law enforcement agencies against the use of torture and other cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment of detainees in their custody. This was said by the Solicitor General of the Federation SGF and Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Justice, Beatrice Jedi Agba, at the event organized where she doubled as a chairperson of the committee. She called on stakeholders, both in the public and private sectors, to speak with one voice against the perpetrators of torture and for all who suffer in their hands in order to build a better and more humane society. So I'm happy that at least somebody is speaking up against these things, and it's just for public and private sector. So that means that all these are security agencies, that are security offices, and you get to arrest somebody. You cannot torture or dehumanize people who are who are in detention or who you've detained. So I'm happy that somebody's speaking up against this. Okay, another story, moving on now to Vanguard. Forex challenge driving petrol price towards 581 naira per litre. I delayed petrol subsidy removal to allow Tinubu and APC win poll, says Buhari. 10 drown as boat capsized in Akwa Ibom State. Shake up. NAF appoints redeploys 98 officers of air rank. Salah, FG declares Wednesday, Thursday public holidays. FG renames airports after Buhari, Usman Galadima, Awolowo, and others. We're coming after you, NSCDC reads Riot Act to thieves. And Salah, FG suspends further work on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway till July 3rd. Okay.
Major headline.
Major headline.
So, there are strong indications that we may have to pay more for our fuel. As the same marketers are benchmarking their cost against the rising exchange rate. They spoke yesterday, said the Naira keeps depreciating, and the implication is that there would be an increase, which, you know, we've started experiencing the increase, but it may go higher. They said that the average pump price now is 500 per litre, and the exchange rate is about 661 to $1. That also has moved. So now the filling stations have adjusted their prices to 492 to 495 in places like Lagos, contrary to the 488 we started buying after the subsidy removal. But some places, they further adjusted to around 515. Outside Lagos, the pump price has gone as high as 650 per litre. And they're saying that the closing rate, that's for the dollars, is about 770 to $1, and that is why it keeps affecting the pump price. Now, the marketers are not able to get import fuel right now because they're still finding ways to get money. They said the money they have with them is not enough to go back and buy the products, though some of them have started negotiating with the banks to see how they can get more money pumped into the industry so that they can get fuel. Some others are still having cold feet. Should we get into this industry or not? But for now, we may have to pay really high before it finally gets down with market forces.
And that's been Vanguard?
Renaming of our airports.
Okay.
So I'll just take the names for some. So we have the Maiduguri Airport, which has been renamed after our immediate past president, Muhammadu Buhari. So that will be called Muhammadu Buhari Airport going forward. In the Port Harcourt International Airport is named Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and the Nasarawa Airport was named after the late founder of Sokoto Caliphate, Usman Galadima. We have the Benin Airport, and is named after the late Oba of Benin, Oba Akenzua. Ebonyi Airport, named after the late Senate President, Dr. Chuba Okadibo. I like that. I just feel I admired him, and I am happy that he's immortalized that way. And then we have the Akure Airport, Olumi-Iwa Bernard Aliyu, Duse Airport, Muhammadu Nuhu Sanusi, Gombe Airport, Brigadier Zakari Malari, Ilorin Airport, General Tunde Diagbon, good too, and Kaduna Airport, Hassan Usman Kassina,
Right.
and many others.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So concerning fuel subsidy, Garba Shehu, the former past immediate aide of former President Muhammadu Buhari, was saying yesterday on his Twitter page that the reason why Buhari did not remove subsidy was because he wanted APC to win the elections. According to him, he said that that yesterday many opinion polls and survey conducted back in February 25th showed that APC would have lost the elections, and removing subsidy at that time will be disastrous to the party. Therefore, that's why the president was quite silent on his removal of subsidy. That's pretty much what the story, but some could have argued that regardless, it doesn't really matter. But another story I had in that paper, in Vanguard, is a story from the NSCDC, that's the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Dr. Hamad Abubakar, who is the commandant, was saying that he was reading the Riot Act to oil thieves in the country, vowing to deploy newly trained men and newly acquired assets to go after them. According to him, they have trained over 10,000 personnel who are ready to take on the oil thieves head-on, and with new weapons handling and special tactics in the past 2 years. So he's launching out this 10,000 and saying that he's reading the Riot Act to all the oil thieves, and he's going to clear all our clear our country and arrest all these oil thieves and ensure that they are brought to book going forward.
Okay. No fewer than 10 people were reportedly killed when an outboard engine boat capsized off the coast of Umbo local government in Akwa Ibom State. 5 of the 10 victims were from one family, mother and her children. Apparently, the boat did not have any life jackets. So,
after all the capsizing we've been having in this country, you think life jacket is...
That means we don't have.
We don't have, yes. That's
So it's
what
not
I suspect.
available.
That's what I suspect.
Final paper...
very terrible.
Which state was this, YK?
Akwa Ibom.
Nigerian Tribune, subsidy removal would have cost APC 2023 elections, says Buhari's aide. 7 die, 15 injured in Oyo-Ogbomosho road accident. Abuja Electricity Distribution Company denies tariff hike. Alleged sexual exploitation, court remands skit maker Trinity victims' parents in prison. The anti-money laundering, SCBN directs banks to increase surveillance on politically exposed persons. Kano residents protest further demolition of buildings. Lagos blue red lines to commence operations in August. Salah consumers lament high cost, scarcity of tomatoes and pepper. Okay, which
The lamentation. So at least you just give us an idea why prices have gone up. So people are complaining about the prices of tomatoes, pepper, and onions. And we, Tribune talked to a farmer in Kaduna State, and he explained, he said, first of all, perishable goods are seasonal produce. And between the months of June and September, they're usually scarce that period. So that's one. Secondly, there's something called the Ebola, the tomatoes Ebola, the disease that affects tomatoes. And because of that, there's reduced supply of tomatoes. He also definitely mentioned insecurity, especially in most northern parts. He even says that in Zazzau Emirate, many farmers have left farming because of insecurity. So all this put together has affected the availability and price of perishable goods this period.
prices are crazy.
Carrots to make the stew then.
I mean,
Carrots cheaper than tomatoes.
For now.
The basket of carrots cheaper than a basket of tomatoes.
you know how expensive facts.
Another
You have to run.
boat capsizing in Calabar. Again, where 3 medical students
Oh yes, we had that story. They
died.
saved others, but
Yeah,
those
but
3 were
they-
not able to
They
save.
just
Really,
recovered
really,
their bodies.
yeah, really, really sad story.
The NIWA have closed down the jetty
Yeah,
because they are even an illegal operation.
that's all we can take.